let's have a look at question 1B from the school exam. So we've got our media report, and then we've got the graph and things of the data. We might need some of that. Let's have a look at question B. So the article states that more than half, 56% to be precise, of teen Facebook users say it is not difficult at all to manage their privacy settings. Assuming that all of the teens in the 2012 survey did have a Facebook profile, so this is kind of like one of the assumptions underlying it, but what we want to do is we want to use a confidence interval to evaluate the claim that more than half of teens express this level of confidence. Okay, so we have got a proportion we're trying to compare. That we're not trying to compare. We're just trying to find out a range. We just want to compare that to half, okay? And we know half means 50%. So I'm not comparing 2006 with 2012. I'm not comparing two surveys. I'm not comparing two groups within one survey. I'm just looking at a single statistic. So the proportion that I'm interested in is that 56% or 0.56, okay? So that's what I'm interested in doing. And I need to create a confidence interval for that. Now in part A, because this is talking about the 2012 survey, in part A we already found the margin of error to be 3.53%. Okay, so we've got half our job already done. All we need to do now is put this together to come up with a confidence interval. And the confidence interval is going to be your p-value plus and minus that margin of error. So in this case, our probability is 56%, plus or minus that margin of error of 3.53%. So I'm going to split that into two calculations. So I'm going to do 56 minus 3.53, and I'm going to do 56 plus 3.53. And that's going to give me values of 52.5% and 59.5%. Okay, so in terms of a confidence interval, there's 0%, there's 100%. We were interested in this value of 50%, and we've got a confidence interval here that goes from 52 to 59. So 52.5 up to 59.5. All right, so there is that confidence interval. So what does this mean? We need to interpret this confidence interval and then look at this claim, but we've got to interpret it first. So what is it that we've done? We have looked at, remember, we've got our population and we are taking a sample from within that population. And we're using that sample proportion to estimate what the population proportion is, okay? So we estimate that the proportion, and I need to identify that I'm talking about for the whole population. So I could just say the proportion for the whole population, or I could also say the proportion of all, and in this case it was teen Facebook users. Facebook users who say, and what were they saying? Saying it's not difficult at all to manage, who say it's not difficult at all to manage the privacy settings. So we estimate the proportion of all teen users is between, and then I'm going to do my two numbers, 52.5% and 59.5%. 52.5% and 59.5%. Okay, so I'm interpreting the confidence interval. Then we need to do the next one. We've got to use the confidence interval to evaluate the claim. All right, so if we were able to get to the confidence interval, so if I get to this point down there, that's my achieved. If I get to the point where I've interpreted the confidence interval, that's the merit. And if we're now able to go and evaluate the claim, then that gets me my excellence. So evaluating that claim, I looked up here where I've drawn this confidence interval, 52.5 up to 59.5. 50% is not inside that interval, and in fact the whole confidence interval is above half. So that means I can I agree with the claim that more than half, because my confidence interval is completely above 50%. And so that's the evaluation I want to make for the excellence. So because the confidence interval is all above 50%, I agree with the claim that more than half of teenagers, so it's not difficult to manage the privacy settings. Yep, so getting that far, being able to interpret that and say I agree with the claim because the confidence interval is above 0, that will get you the excellence.